So, what is going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another zombies video, back with another Q&A where we take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and answer them. As always, if you enjoy, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. But, without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. So the first question of today from Marquis Larry. Again, as always, I am very sorry if I get your names wrong, but you say, when is Zombies Chronicles 2 coming out? So of course the first question should really be, well, is there even going to be a Zombies Chronicles 2? Because nothing has been confirmed. It really isn't something that's been spoken about too much, especially officially. Obviously there's always going to be rumours and speculations going around the community as to whether it's going to be coming, but officially we don't know. However, if you were to ask me, I would say yes. Looking at the success of Zombies Chronicles 1, how well that did for Treyarch and Activision, I believe it was actually the best-selling DLC during that year, whenever it came out for BO3. And obviously, knowing Activision, they're going to want to carry on from the success of that. So, a Zombies Chronicles 2 financially definitely would make sense. And I do think it's something that they will be looking to do. And also, I remember in a panel for BO4, I believe this was just before it came out, I think it was an audience member that asked Jason Mundell whether there will be a Zombies Chronicles 2. He said, is there any need for one? And then the whole crowd started shouting yes, so Treyarch also know that we do want one. It would be awesome. There are still a ton of maps that they could do. I think they remastered all of the ones from World at War, except from Derice, but we got that as the Giant in BO3. I believe they also remastered pretty much all of the ones in Black Ops 1 as well, again, except from 5, because, well, we have that as classified in BO4. I think they would have known that they would have been remastering that in BO4, which is one of the reasons why they didn't do it. However, we didn't have Call of the Dead, but because that has a celebrity cast, I'm not too sure how that would go with rights and getting them back in to do quotes and stuff like that. So I believe maps with a celebrity cast like Call of the Dead might be out of the question for a remaster, but there are still a ton of maps that we haven't had. We could remaster Shangri-La, they could remaster Transit, which I'm not really too sure how many people would want that back, but okay. There's of course Buried they could bring back, and then there's a load of ones from BO3 like Derice Draka, Zetsubo, and Revelations they could even remaster in BO4. I wouldn't really be too bothered about getting BO3 maps remastered, especially like Derice, because in my opinion that's one of the best maps we've ever had. So there are a ton of remasters that we could have. Admittedly, not as much as there was originally, so maybe the map pack would be smaller and also be a little bit cheaper, I'm not too sure. And the one that I'm missing is Nuketown Zombies. Apparently, we're getting that back as a remaster already for DLC 2, or at least that's the rumour. Again, I don't know. But my point is, there are so many maps. If you could pick only one map to have remastered in BO4, what would it be? Let me know down below. But getting back to your question, when is Zombies Chronicles 2 coming out? Well, if it was to come out, which I believe it will, it's obviously going to be at the end of BO4's life cycle. The original Zombies Chronicles came out on May the 16th, 2017 for PS4. So that's like a whole 6 months after the life cycle of BO3. So we can expect the same for Zombies Chronicles 2. I would expect around May of 2020, around April, May, June time of next year, I would expect us to have this DLC if it is going to come. The next question of the day from Rush Munchies 707 says, if Samantha's dog Fluffy had pups and our characters are killing those pups, then where is Fluffy? Sorry if this is a dumb question. It isn't a dumb question. No question is a dumb question. Well, I mean, some of them are, but it doesn't matter. Basically, you're asking me, where is Fluffy? Because the Hellhounds, if you don't know, as Richtofen would say, are the spawn of Fluffy. They're Fluffy's pups. We know that originally, back in World at War, Derice, Fluffy was pregnant when she got teleported away by Richtofen, where she went to the ether. And then her Hellhounds that are spawned in by the announcer, they are Fluffy's puppies. But where is the original Fluffy? First off, how the hell does she have millions of pups? I don't know. And then also, where is the original Fluffy? I don't know. Maybe she's been mixed in there and we've killed her somehow without knowing. Maybe she's in the ether. This is one I can't answer, although it's definitely something to think about. Husker12 says, so BOA, how did you come up with your name? Now, I can't remember the last time someone asked me this. It was probably a year ago or something, and I can't even remember when I created this channel. I was in year 10 in school. I think I was like, was I 14 or 15? So it would have been about 6 or 7 years ago. I honestly can't remember, but I do think I remember why I came up with the name I did. Obviously, Black Ops is my favorite COD. I love COD. Zombies was something that I knew I wanted to do on my channel, but I don't think I actually started off doing that. I believe some of my first videos were on multiplayer for BO2, or maybe even Modern Warfare 3. And then I did a few zombies videos and finally just stayed on that. So obviously Black Ops is from the name of the game. Amazing is... it's a little bit random. I'm not really too sure. I think I just thought of a bunch of words that could have got at the end of Black Ops that sounded, I don't know, cool. It's not very cool. It's not a very interesting name. I wish I could give you a better answer. Honestly, it was about 6 or 7 years ago. I can't really remember, but it probably went something along those lines. John Jervis says, where do the freed souls go after Blood of the Dead? So, as we see in the Blood of the Dead ending, after our characters break the cycle by Richtofen sacrificing his blood to close off this pocket dimension that Alcatraz is stuck in, we then see post-Revelations Richtofen, he lifts the crystal into the air and it purges all of the evil from Alcatraz. The cycle is broken. And we see this kind of like flame shoot all through the island, where when it goes through the zombies, they are killed and the souls that are trapped inside of them are then freed. And then as we see, Takeo says, listen to how the spirits sing. They are free of this realm.
Listen to how the spirits sing. They are free of this realm.
And we just see all of these freed souls float into the air. As for where they go though, this is something that hasn't been explained to us. Obviously these are prisoners that have been trapped on the island. They have died here, whether that's by the warden, Brutus, or some other means. All of these zombies, these souls have been trapped on the island. And so now that they're finally freed, as to where they go, I'm not sure, because Alcatraz we know is in a pocket dimension. This dimension is now closed off, where I think it would eventually be destroyed. Are these ghosts, these souls now left to roam around? I would say, do they go to the afterlife? But Alcatraz is the afterlife, or purgatory. So honestly, I'm not too sure where they would go, or what they would do, but what we do know is that they are free. Tony Karam says, do you think we will play as the children in the future for BO4? And the simple answer, I believe, is no. I've kind of answered this question before, and the reason why I don't think this is going to be a thing is because the children, to my belief, they are not in the house. The only children that are there is Samantha and Richtofen. Nikolai, Dempsey and Takeo are not children in the house in Black Ops 4 because, of course, Gorod Karovi hasn't happened yet. We know that Blood of the Dead takes place between Zetsubo Noshima and Gorod Karovi, and because the cycle is now broken, Gorod Karovi isn't going to happen, and as we saw in Gorod, that was the point when Richtofen collected the final soul of Nikolai's and then released it into the air to go to the house for Monty to turn all 3 souls of Nikolai, Takeo and Dempsey's into children. That happened in Gorod Karovi. But, like I just said, Gorod isn't going to happen now, which means that Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey aren't children in the house. Samantha and Richtofen are, because their souls were collected a lot earlier, before Zetsubo Noshima, but the other children, they aren't. So as far as us being able to play as them in the future, well, I can't see that happening because they're not there. I always thought it actually would have been quite a cool idea to play as these children once they've grown up, maybe in their teens. That's an experience we haven't had yet. We've played as them when they are younger, however old they are as Primus, I don't know, their late 20s, 30s. And then we've played as them as Ultimus when they're in their 50s or late 40s, but we've never played as them as teenagers when they're like 20, something like that. I think that'd be a really cool idea to play as the children once they were grown up. That would have been a new and interesting take on the storyline. But of course, half of them aren't there, so I don't see how that scenario can happen now. I honestly don't know where we're going to go. Is Black Ops 4 going to be the end of zombies, as a lot of people have speculated? I mean, we've been saying that for the longest time now for BO2. Oh, that's the end of zombies. Where are we going to go after Origins? We've said that for BO3 after Revelations. What's going to happen now? Are we going to say the same thing for Black Ops 4? Is this going to be the end? And then Black Ops 5 comes out, or whatever Treyarch's next game is. Please be World at War 2. And the zombie storyline continues. Truly, I hope it does continue. We have started off a whole new story with the Chaos Crew, so I see that being a little bit pointless if it was only for BO4. But of course, I love the Ether story and Richtofen and Dempsey and all of those characters. I never want it to end, and I hope it doesn't. But anyway, guys, that is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on the channel, but of course you only have to if you want to. It's totally up to you guys if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, it means a lot. Leave your questions down below, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, and until then, goodbye.